Welcome to Data Protection Strategies Leveraging the Cloud. This four-part webcast series will provide you with valuable insights for ensuring your organization's data are protected and recoverable. The focus of this series is on your on-premises technology as opposed to your cloud-based technology. In episode 1, As a Service at Your Service, we talked about as-a-service strategies, including disaster recovery as a service and backup as a service, and the advantages this technology brings to you. In episode 2, Double Click into DRaaS, we dove deeper into DRaaS and discussed options for the targets of your replication. In this episode, BaaS, Not Your Grandfather's Backup, we will examine backup as a service offerings and some of the considerations you will need to make when choosing a BaaS path. Finally, in Clear Expectations, we will guide you through some of the complexities of these solutions and how to set proper expectations with your business colleagues. 30 some odd years ago, Oldsmobiles were old hat and people took them for granted. So Oldsmobile ran a marketing campaign, Not Your Father's Oldsmobile, to entice the next generation of car buyers to take a second look at the new models. You Trekkies out there will be glad to know that our very own Captain Kirk, William Shatner, starred in one of those commercials alongside his daughter. Anyway, backups are also in need of a second look. The technology has come a long way, and backup as a service is now a reality. In this episode, we're going to take a look at some of the technology and the options for you to consider as you protect your data. There are about as many definitions for backup as a service, or BaaS, as there are cars on the road. Similar to its cousin DRaaS, there are key components that make BaaS BaaS. In the case of BaaS, there are two. First, the backups of your files, folders, or entire hard drives are regularly backed up to cloud-based storage. Second, it is delivered to you as a service. A service provider manages the implementation and ongoing backup processes to ensure your data are backed up the way you expect. There are many other components in today's BaaS offerings that we will discuss later, but in its purest, that's it: cloud storage and as a service. Before we get into those other components, let's talk about backups in general. Why do backups at all? It may sound like a silly question, but answering why you are backing up the data will help guide you to the right solutions. There are two primary reasons to back up your data: compliance and data protection. Compliance. Typically long-term storage of data. Your company may have internal policies for long-term storage of data. These policies may be driven by your accountant or your legal counsel. There may be different retention requirements based on the type of data. Your organization might be subject to one or more compliance frameworks that specify the type of data that must be kept and the length of time it should be kept. Data protection. Backups can help protect your data, providing you with copies that can be used to restore and, in some cases, recover your data. Data protection backups are usually stored on-site for a limited time before moving to off-site storage. These backups are used to restore corrupted or deleted files quickly. As part of an overall disaster recovery program, they can also be used to recover files and applications. Best practices for data protection backups follow the 3-2-1 rule. You should have at least 3 copies of your data stored on at least 2 different mediums, with at least 1 copy off-site. By the way, this rule also applies to your data stored in SaaS-based applications. You are backing up your SaaS data, aren't you? I know many of you are still using tape technology for your backups. Tapes can still be a key component of your data protection strategy. However, it comes with some intrinsic issues by its very nature. Let's say your compliance requirements state you must keep your data for 7 years. You back your data up to tape and send it to an offsite vault. That is excellent. You have one copy on one medium and it's offsite. Great start. How often do you test the tapes to ensure the backup was truly successful? When you upgrade your tape library, can the new library still read 7-year-old tapes? How much data do the tape cartridges hold? Technology today can pack a lot of data onto a single cartridge. This trades off the cost of tapes and storage with retrieval times and the risk of tape degradation over time. You may also feel protected because tapes have an air gap when they are off-site. However, storing tapes off-site can add hours or maybe days to your restore time. As for your tapes that are stored on-site, attackers are now targeting tape libraries, deleting entire libraries in one fell swoop. Today's backup as a service technology can solve many of these issues as well as provide additional benefits. BaaS offerings store your data in the cloud. Most services offer different layers of storage so that your data protection backups are stored on readily accessible storage. It is still low cost and you are still taking advantage of the cloud economics of paying for what you use. Your compliance backups can be moved to cold storage at a much lower cost. This provides you with the best of both worlds. Cloud storage is offsite and encrypted, making it difficult for the bad guys to get to your data and steal it or hold it for ransom. You can even flag it as immutable, which makes it impossible for it to be changed or deleted. This can not only protect you from the bad guys, but it can also protect your data from being changed by an accident of a well-meaning employee. Another advantage modern backup tools bring is that they are policy-based versus file-based. This means as files are added or changed, the appropriate backup policy is applied to them and they are protected. No more, well, I thought the file was being backed up. Now, let's dive into the as a service part of backup as a service. As with many aspects of keeping the lights on operations of an IT shop, backups, while important, are complex to implement and can be mind-numbing to monitor appropriately. They always seem to be relegated to low priority status and eventually fall into the category of out of sight, out of mind. Engaging with a BaaS provider means that someone is watching and monitoring your backups. With some of these solutions, you can reach a 98% success rate on backups. As backups encounter an error, the provider will retry it, many times resulting in a successful backup. And if not, someone is investigating why. Even before your backups are running in a steady state, the experts at the BaaS provider will help you establish the right policies to meet all of your business requirements for compliance and data protection. Once you have reached a steady state, your provider is monitoring your backups. They can also assist you in testing your backups. Another step in giving you the confidence your data is protected, restorable, and recoverable. As you consider BaaS, you have some choices when it comes to where you are going to store your backups. As I mentioned, for BaaS to be BaaS, the storage must be a cloud. Yes, you can send your backups to one of your other data centers or even to a colo, but you really aren't taking advantage of all the benefits provided by BaaS, including losing out on the cloud economics of elasticity and scalability. When considering which cloud to store your backups, there are two major categories: hosted clouds and hyperscale or public clouds. Hosted clouds range from small boutique cloud providers to those whose scale is larger but not as large as the hyperscale providers like AWS, Azure, or Google. Hosted clouds may also be referred to as enterprise clouds by some providers. Many times, the hosted cloud provider is also the provider of the BaaS service. Hyperscale clouds include AWS, Azure, Google, and others. When it comes to BaaS, the most common targets are AWS and Azure. As we consider the pros and cons of A, using cloud as your storage, and B, which cloud to target, keep in mind this is not a one-size-fits-all proposition. You may find yourself using different targets for different backups, or you may find yourself using multiple targets for the same backup. For compliance backups, it may make sense to leverage low-cost storage of hyperscale clouds. And given the 3-2-1 rule, you may even consider using both a hosted cloud and a hyperscale cloud for your data protection backups. We have already discussed some of the benefits you will realize by using BaaS for your backup strategy, such as storage that you don't need to maintain or keep updated. It works, guaranteed, and offloading work to a third party. Additionally, you will recognize a lower total cost of ownership when compared to maintaining storage in your own data center or colo. The amount of this TCO will be based on the type of storage and whether you choose a hosted cloud or a hyperscale cloud. Before we wrap up our discussion of BaaS options, I would like to mention some of the other backup tools available to you. The hyper-converged backup solutions such as Rubrik, Cohesity, and others. These solutions do protect your data. In fact, they can be an easy button when compared to your current backup solutions. They also provide you with multiple options for storage, such as on-site within the device, off-site on a duplicate device, and cloud storage. However, unless they are provided as a service, you are not able to take full advantage of the benefits of BaaS, which is an even easier button. We at InterVision would be happy to discuss your requirements and provide you with recommendations from either the BaaS category of solutions or the hyper-converged category of solutions. Backups may seem like old hat, but they do deserve and require a fresh look. In this webcast, BaaS, Not Your Grandfather's Backup, we discuss some of the options available to you. In the fourth webcast, Clear Expectations, we will provide you with some guidance for setting expectations with your business colleagues when it comes to your recovery time objectives and more. If you missed out on our first 2 episodes in this series, As a Service at Your Service, in which we talk about as-a-service strategies, including DRaaS and BaaS, and the advantages these technologies bring to you, and double-click into DRaaS, in which we dive deeper into DRaaS options, I encourage you to watch them today. There will be links in the show notes. Before we end this episode, I'd like to provide an overview of InterVision and our award-winning DRaaS and BaaS solutions. If you are on a cloud journey or contemplating one, the numbers that jump out to me as a former CIO are the 200 plus technical cloud certifications and the over 125 certified engineers. This speaks to the depth and breadth of our expertise. At InterVision, we live at the intersection of the right premises, the right technology, and the right model. Right for you. It is that intersection that enables our transformative approach so that you can realize your strategic IT vision. Our DRaaS solutions are backed with the industry-recognized recovery assurance process. It is this process that enables you to sleep well at night, knowing your data are protected. It begins with your business requirements, continues with joint engineering, and then enters the iterative cycle of test, update, and update. We extend this assurance to provide you with resilience and availability from, well, anywhere to anywhere. On-premises to on-premises, on-premises to hosted, hosted to hosted, on-premises to public cloud to public cloud, and cloud availability. No matter your recovery objectives and budgets, we have a solution to meet your needs. DRAS Run for recovery in seconds to minutes. DRAS Ready for recovery in just a few hours. And DRAS Restore for those applications and data that are still important but can sustain an outage of 24 to 48 hours. We do all of these on AWS, Azure, or our own hosted cloud. Our BaaS provides you with low-cost cloud backups of your precious data. These backups can be stored in AWS, Azure, or in our hosted cloud. In our next episode, Clear Expectations, we will guide you through some of the complexities of these solutions and how to set proper expectations with your business colleagues. Until next time, this is Jeff Tunn, InterVision's Strategic IT Advisor. Thank you very much for listening.